Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to today's webinar, which is an Integration Insights webinar, where we're going to look specifically at the integration between Class Super and Auditflow. My name is Greg Narain, and I'll be presenting today's webinar. We're very fortunate to have Richard Barber, the Executive Director of Class, also co-presenting with me today. Richard will be covering off some of the key aspects of Class Super and how the specifically areas that are very relevant to the auditor and the administrator when they're looking towards the audit of the super fund. So I'm going to cover off just a few slides and an introduction from Auditflow perspective, and then I'll pass over the presenter role for the first part of this webinar to Richard. Who will talk to Class Super, and then we'll flow back to Auditflow and look at the audit side of your self-managed super fund and how that integration works from an Auditflow perspective. So the purpose of today's presentation is just to introduce and demonstrate the time savings and efficiencies that you can gain in your practice by combining the two leading cloud SMSF solutions of Class and Auditflow. If your firm undertakes audits of any type, be it SMSF or SME or not-for-profit audits, then Auditflow is a software solution that will save you time on your audits. Auditflow has been designed with a very clear purpose and three overriding objectives. Firstly, to enable the auditor to complete a fully compliant quality audit in the shortest possible time. Secondly, to enable the efficient project management of your firm's audit engagements. And thirdly, to provide a solution that's cost-effective, easy to use, and scalable. Essentially, Auditflow is time efficiency on your audits without compromise to quality or compliance of your audit file. So that's just a little bit about Auditflow. Now, in terms of introducing Class and talking to the Class aspects of integration and that collaboration between the administrator and the auditor, I'd like to pass over to Richard Barber, and who will be running the first part of our webinar today. So we'll just bear with me as we quickly change presenter. Okay, Richard, I think that hopefully that's over to you.
Beautiful. Well, thanks, Greg. As the audience today, I understand most of the people attending today's session are already Class users, so I won't really need to talk too much about Class and where we're at. In regards to the integration with Auditflow, though, this is a project that has been effectively underway for now just a bit over 12 months, probably more like 18. It's a great initiative, just extending out on our whole theme of automation, and one that it's certainly our firm intent to take further in terms of really now automating the final part of an SMSF administration process, which is trying to streamline audit and drive down the time it takes to generate the work paper and produce a set of financials that can be passed across to the auditor, and that job done as efficiently as possible. So you would be very familiar with some of the screens I'm looking at today. What I'm going to do is actually just go through, I suppose, what I'm going to be having my auditor's hat on today, just to sort of to put some context around what I'm doing here. And in terms of the way that a lot of people are approaching the audit job before they pass across to the Auditflow tool, and then I'll actually show you how the uplifting of the fund into the Auditflow tool works from a login perspective as well. So as you can see, I'm currently in this dashboard. I'll just quickly look at this fund from what its dynamics are. It has both pension and accumulation accounts, and it's a particularly large fund. It's got only $10 million in it, so it's a large client. The aspects of this particular fund are worth looking at in terms of what's under the covers of it. It has a series of assets, both property, US and Aussie equities, a whole heap of shares, and even a property in there as well. So a fairly busy fund, one that obviously would be taking a bit of time to get through in other incumbent systems, but because all the balances are green, probably the first point I want to raise in regards to the audit process and the whole reconciliation piece around the balances. So one of the reports that you're probably familiar with, but I'm going to touch on it anyhow, is one of the auditors, from an auditor's perspective, one of the things they like to look at, and not all auditors are particularly familiar with what the capabilities of class are, is this balanced reconciliation screening. And the reason why this is so powerful is that the auditor can actually, through their login, they can put in a date to which they want to look at, and straight away, this one's got about 39 different assets. I'm able to see all of my holdings on the one screen, showing me my ledger balances versus what the fee balances are, and if there is a delta between any of those balances. Feedback we've had from this reconciliation of balances is it's saving an enormous amount of time. There are a lot of firms that, if they're doing their in-house audits themselves, have done their own system and process control work around class to determine their ability to rely on that data. And again, this is some of the stuff that we're working with Auditflow on in terms of bringing all of those relevant data points straight into the work paper. So if it's confirmed in class and the auditor is comfortable with that, then it can be relied on accordingly. Two other reports I just want to show before we throw across into Auditflow. One of them is a screen that a lot of people use regularly, but from an auditor's perspective, just to give some perspective on it, is this browse event screen. And the reason for that is its ability to pivot the screen. So one of the things you're able to do here is select different things to look at. So this is showing me all the transactions for, say, a particular period. If I want to look at that particular period, I can narrow it down. And then from there, what I'm able to do is I can then group by different things. So the thing that the auditors like to look at is this created by. And the reason for that is that they can then pivot through and they can see what humanoids have done. So we can see here that we've got a series of things that have just happened automatically in the fund, including feeds and announcements, but it's also highlighting from a control perspective the issue around, well, what has Richard been playing with in terms of things. And this is basically highlighting this whole issue around, you can see very clearly what has been touched by human intervention and what has come directly from source. So again, another very powerful screen that can be taken down on an Excel format if they want to have that as, again, part of a physical work paper or an extra record associated to it. There are some other audit tools which we do provide to supplement the audit process outside of Auditflow, which, again, we can take offline later. And probably the last report before we flick across into Auditflow is this exceptions report. Just for those that aren't familiar with the usage of it, is very much, this is around identify a financial year you're looking at, and it's a high-level look through of the fund to see if there have been any attributes that are still outstanding or things to be done, or the homework screen, whichever way you want to call it. In this particular instance here, we've got some tax statements still outstanding, and we've also got some of our balances that weren't reconciling. So it's alerting, again, to the high-level aspects that the auditor is obviously going to pick up when they go to do this fund. So from a completion perspective, we'll now just assume that the fund has been completed, and what I'm going to do is now dive across and put my auditor's hat on, and I'm now wanting to pull data through into my audit tool. So at this point, I'm now logging in to my account. The first thing that comes up, and Greg will go into a lot more detail about this front screen, but it's giving us this high-level view of what work I've got to do. And what I'm going to do today is I'm actually going to just set up a brand new file. This can be something that you're doing much more efficiently. You can load up all of your clients inside Auditflow. I'm running on a very slow internet connection in this particular room, so I apologise about the lag. So I'm going to go with I'm going to create a template, or I'll catch up, grab a template. These can be modified, as Greg will go into, in terms of your ability to create your own flows. And I'm just putting, again, some additional details in to create the file. This is a first-off exercise. Normally you wouldn't have to do that. And I'm accepting this now, and here we go through. So what this has done is this has created effectively it's creating a shell of my audit work paper. And then from there, what I'm going to do now is supplement that with dropping the actual client file in. Apologies, my internet speed is very slow at the moment. Greg, rather than this hanging, I think I've got a problem with my internet. Do you want to take the guys through to just the drop in of the file?
Absolutely.
And then, yep, I'll pass back to
absolutely, Richard. Just pass back to me, and we can pick up on that.
Yep, you can take control from your end, mate.
Okay. All right. So essentially, what we're looking to do, and let's just check that we've got that presenter pass back. All right, Richard, you might just need to pass that presenter back to me. Let's see if I can just take that back from you. Okay, hopefully now you're looking at my my Auditflow screen. The file, when we create a new audit file, and let's just have a look at our demo fund that we've created, and I'm just going to take you quickly to the import screen, and we'll just cover off quickly on that import of the trial balance option again. So we're going to connect quickly to Class Super, enter our connection details, and we can select the fund from our fund list. I've already imported that fund, and we're going to re-import it again and re-import from the fund. So the import process literally takes a few seconds, and based on a reasonable quality of internet connection. And when we have completed this import, we can see here that we've generated some additional folders, work papers, lead schedules that have been directly pulled from class into our audit file. Now, essentially, the audit file within Auditflow is pre-populated with lead schedules, lead schedule summaries, as well as your trial balance and specific work papers that are contained within the compliance section of your audit file, are all pre-populated dynamically based on the import of your trial balance. Now, having connected to class and directly imported the trial balance, if we have a look at a few aspects of just what that does to your audit file. Firstly, with an audit flow, it will populate your audit file with your current as well as your prior year numbers, all based on the trial balance. It generates all of your lead schedules and maps these within the audit file, and also creates both a profit and loss and balance sheet view within the audit file. And this is all generated from the integrated trial balance import from class. So we can see we've got a very detailed balance sheet that's contained within our audit file. All of our lead schedules are mapped. And if we just have a look at our working paper index now, the import process generates a number of financial folders within the audit file. these C to I, your income through to liabilities for accrued benefits folders that are all generated within the audit file and are all provided and populated with lead schedules and lead schedule summaries. And to show you what I mean, let's just have a look at the assets folder. Within our assets folder we can see these lead schedules that have been generated. Let's have a look at the shares and listed companies from the fund that Richard was showing you within class. And we can see all of those shareholdings that have been pulled in, scheduled into this lead schedule or lead sheet within Auditflow, and available for you to commence your substantive audit. Now within Auditflow we provide you with a range of tools to make it very efficient for you to complete your substantive audit work within Auditflow. You'll notice that within these lead schedules we've also populated a quantity of shares held as well as calculated a market price. Now that share quantity has come directly from class. We calculate the market price within Auditflow. But as Richard alluded to, we're working to an integration whereby this market price as well as the quantity, as you saw those verified in green within the class file, similarly you'll be able to see those verified at data source and verified in green within your audit file as well, and just providing a further streamlining process for the auditor. The auditor then has the ability to easily add supporting documents to the audit file. Within Auditflow we provide a range of ways that you can upload your supporting documents to the file, but the easiest and most convenient way is that you simply grab a supporting document and you drag it into the audit file. It will automatically upload that document into your audit file, be it against one or a number of accounts, and provides a copy of that document into your audit file. Now in terms of integration, this is a further area where we're working very closely with class, where there are a large number of supporting documents and reports available within class that you will want within your audit file, and we're working towards a position where you'll be able to select those documents and reports within class and dynamically link those to your audit file and then upload them if you require. So just further stages that we're looking to add to this integration. Within your lead schedules you can add your tick marks from the standard tick marks provided within Auditflow, and you can also very easily enter comments against any of these values or items that you've created within your lead schedule. We provide a very efficient referencing system for your comments, and we summarize those at the bottom of each lead schedule. So data flows out of class into Auditflow, populates the trial balance, creates all of your lead schedule summaries, and enables you to complete your substantive audit work in relation to those lead schedules and lead schedule summaries in a very efficient way. If we just have a look at back at the working paper index, and if we go into our planning folder containing all of our planning compliance work papers, a number of work papers contained in this area of the working paper index, our materiality, our preliminary analytical procedures, as well as our risk assessment work papers. And if we just have a look at our risk assessment by way of example, we can see how these work papers are once again automatically generated and populated based on the financial data that has flowed from class directly into Auditflow. So within the audit file, a lot of dynamic data generation aimed at, one, speeding up the preparation of the audit file, but also adding speed and efficiency to the manner by which you can complete both your substantive as well as your compliance audit. Now, in terms of integration, another area that I'd like to have a look at and show you in a little bit of detail today is around the client area. So in an audit flow sense, the client, we refer to the client is the fund. So audit flow enables you to bulk import all of your client details directly from class and populate those into your audit flow client list. And we can do this very simply via the import clients function, whereby we can connect directly to class, which is what I'm doing now, entered my business code, and that has pulled up the list of funds that I have, or that for this particular administrator has within class, and I can then select to import those funds directly into Auditflow, or a selection of them, and we can select import, and we'll import those funds. Now Auditflow will provide some smart guidance through this process to ensure that you don't create duplicate funds within your Auditflow fund or client list. So if there are funds that are looking like they might be a little bit similar, Auditflow will compare them and enable you to make some calls as to whether you want to link and merge those funds, whether they're a new client, or whether you'd like to look at some more details in order for you to make that judgment. So these ones here, we can link and merge those as being the same funds, and then we've imported that client list. Now if we go back to our client list, we can now see all of our class funds have a class logo and icon against them. We can filter our list so that we're just looking at the class funds. So if we filter by client type, we can look at those funds that are just linked to Class Super. We update our search filter, and that will provide us with a list of our class funds. Now, we've got a range of options for these funds now that we have that linkage to class established. We can re-import the details, and we can just quickly connect, and we can update all of the client details from class into Auditflow, including fund details. We've got details of trust deed, etc., trustee, as well as member details that we've bought from class and populated those directly into Auditflow. Also via this connection that now is embedded against the client within Auditflow, if we wish to view this fund in Class Super, once again from within Auditflow, we can initiate that connection and connect directly to class and view details of that fund within class directly from within Auditflow. So a very efficient process. Opens that in a separate tab in your browser, and you're now able to freely move between the two applications in different tabs. So that's the bulk client import function that we have within Auditflow, directly connecting with class, enabling you to upload and populate all of your client list, as well as then update your client details into Auditflow. Now, if for one of these funds, if I choose to create a new audit file for the Peter Superannuation Fund, which is a class fund, and I accept the user agreement here and create a new audit file, Auditflow will run away and update those client details from class, and will show me that it's done that as I work through that process as well. And that is a function that's available both within the creating of a new audit file, but also if we were looking to create a new file for a subsequent year, which is a roll forward of an existing file in Auditflow. Our roll forward process enables you to easily create your subsequent year's audit file based on the information of the prior year. And then if we select Next, once again this will take us through the process of setting up and rolling forward our audit file. But also in that process, if this is a class fund, it's going to connect to class and update the fund details directly into the fund or client list within Auditflow. When I select all this information and set up my new audit file for the current year, within Auditflow we have pulled across all of the details from our subsequent year, all of our comments and assertions in the audit file, and any particular documents, permanent files that we've uploaded in prior year. We've pulled all of that information through into our current audit file. So a very efficient process once again for creating a new audit file. And once we've done that, we simply need to then once again go to our trial balance for our new audit file, connect to class, and import the trial balance. It's remembered my credentials, and we're ready to commence our subsequent year for that audit file. So in terms of integration, it's logical that integrating your SMSF administration software with your SMSF audit software is going to create some real time savings, not just for the auditor, but also for the administrator and the time that is spent preparing the work paper file for audit. So the objective of the integration is that it eliminates that duplication of data entry. We can pull that data directly from class directly into Auditflow and populate that into your audit file. That we can eliminate that necessity of entering all of your client details again, that we pull that information directly into the audit file, and then we make the update of that information on an ongoing basis a very dynamic process. So we've got that instant audit file population, and we've got that easy collaboration. So the integration of class and Auditflow creates an environment where the administrator and the auditor can then collaborate. They can complete the audit file in a highly efficient manner. Richard showed you from the administration end where he logged into class, can create an audit work paper file, can upload the trial balance, and we're working towards that scenario where you can also add your supporting documents directly into that audit file and present that to the auditor. Alternatively, Auditflow works to enable the auditor to be able to create that audit file, import that trial balance, upload the supporting documents as well. So it's a flexible application designed for the auditor and the administrator to collaborate and work in a way that's most efficient for them. So integration is about funds, it's about fund details, it's about financial data, and the future of integration is about documentation, and it's about verification. All processes and procedures that are completed by the administrator and the auditor currently, and we're looking to just add automation and time savings to those processes via the integration function. Client list import, client details update, trial balance import, and auto population of your audit file. So that's essentially the key elements of integration. Dynamically, we're creating the lead schedules and lead schedule summaries. We're auto populating your work papers and allowing that collaboration. So we've had a look into the application today to see how that operates. I'd like to thank you for your time and attendance today. Now, for those of you that may not be an existing class user, or you may not be an existing Auditflow user, please contact us. You can contact us via sales@auditflow.com, support@auditflow.com, or you can phone us directly. And we would be more than happy to provide you with a more in-depth demonstration of the Auditflow software, or to provide you with the introduction to a class account manager who can provide you with similar information from the class side of things. We believe that the class and Auditflow collaboration creates a very powerful and compelling solution for your accounting, administration, or audit practice, and we would certainly encourage you to explore the possibilities in more detail. Once again, thank you very much for your time today. Now, if there are any specific questions that you'd like to ask and like to have us respond to, please enter those questions into the chat window, and be more than happy to read those out and respond to those for other participants in today's webinar. So I'm just going to hang on the line for a little while today. Richard, thank you very much for your attendance and speaking to class today. And once again, if you've got any questions, please type them into the chat window and be more than happy to respond. Okay, a question here: is the audit plan already entered into Auditflow, or does the auditor input that themselves? And the answer to that is that we have audit planning work paper contained within Auditflow in a templated format that enables you to quickly and easily customize and will complete the audit plan for a particular audit. I will say here that we are about to release an update of our existing SMSF template, which is going to include even more automation in terms of some wizard functionality that will enable you to very quickly define the makeup of your self-managed super fund that you're auditing, and will tailor the audit plan and strategy of your audit file in an automated fashion for your completion. But currently, certainly that audit plan is contained within our existing SMSF template, and very easy for you to tailor to the audit based on the contents of the audit file. Have we considered a bulk upload feature for trial balances? And the answer to that is yes, we have. The only constraints around bulk upload of trial balances is that at the moment being able to upload a trial balance into a fund is a very quick action to undertake. It literally takes a matter of 5 to 10 seconds to upload a trial balance into a file and complete that file. But certainly in terms of being able to do a number of things in bulk in the audit file and via our integration with class in particular, we have a number of items that are currently on our roadmap. That extends to such things as also being able to do bulk mail-outs of engagement letters, for instance, and those types of functions. And that also that bulk upload of trial balance in some ways also links into the ability to be able to also add your supporting documents or supporting documents linkages directly into the audit file as well. So yes, good question, and that is certainly something that we are looking at in terms of the application. Okay, a couple of further questions. From Bradley: we audit 2 funds which are done by the same administrator in Class Super. How does Auditflow handle this? Okay, so if you have two funds that are by the same administrator, okay, when your administrator will provide you as auditor the login details for Class Super, which essentially gives you access to their fund list. So within Auditflow, you would open a separate audit file for each of those funds, and in your connection to Class Super, to import that trial balance from the funds list, you would go into one file, you would log into Auditflow, you would select that particular fund and upload that trial balance, and you can do that for any number of funds that you have within that with that same administrator. Also within Auditflow, we group the audit files within the application by administrator. So I'll just quickly show you how we do that now, because it literally takes a few seconds. If I come into our SMSF administrators section, and I have my administrators listed, and every time I create an audit file, I will assign an administrator to that file. So as I assign files and to administrators, I build up a list under each administrator. I can see under ANIB's administration here that I've got a list of all of the audit files that I have created for that administrator. Bradley, I hope that answers that question. Sam, are trustees and clients able to upload source documents to Class that can then be automatically uploaded to Auditflow when setting up the fund? Okay, so the answer to that is no, they can't. There are a number of documents that are available within Class that we are working towards a situation where those documents can be added directly to the audit file. But as long as those documents can be saved into an electronic folder, be it a Dropbox or a box, or locally on a computer, then those documents can be dragged and dropped very easily into the audit file. Okay, Bradley, when we talked about your two funds by the same administrator before, you've got two funds that have the same name. Okay, within Auditflow, you would need to, in terms of being able to easily identify the funds, you would need to just give them some sort of appendix, be it if superannuation fund number 1 versus superannuation fund number 2, to enable you to just clearly to create files that you can easily distinguish with the same name. Okay, still got a number of people on the line that are listening in. If you've got any other questions that you'd like to put forward, please do. And we'll stay on the line just for a few more minutes to address those questions. Okay, that appears to be all the questions that we've got today. I've just got one more question in terms of what is the cost of Auditflow. Auditflow has a number of subscription plans that are annual subscription plans based on, in a similar fashion to Class, it's based on the number of funds for a 12-month period. So our plans are all based on a quantity of audit files that you would complete in a period, and depending on the volume of audit files that you would create in a 12-month period, our price per audit file is anywhere from $30 per audit file per year down to, for higher volumes, can be that the price can be substantially reduced. We'll be more than happy to provide you with some specific information based on your circumstances. Tony, I'll touch base with you after today's webinar, and perhaps we can talk about that in a little more detail. Once again, thanks very much for attending today's webinar. I hope that you found that informative, and we will in fact be rerunning this webinar on the 23rd of April. So once again, thanks very much for your attendance, and we hope that for those of you that are not using Auditflow, that you or are not yet class users, that this has given you a little bit of an insight as to how the two products work together to produce a very efficient and collaborative solution for both administration and fund audit. Thanks very much, and I'll be signing out now. Thank you.